Mile 92. It is 4 a.m. Your headlamp is dying, flickering like a weak heartbeat against the ancient pines. And then it happens. Your knees don't just hurt, they stop existing. Your brain sends a command to step, but the signal disappears into a void of static and white noise. You tilt forward, gravity taking over, and for a split second, the forest floor looks like the softest bed in the world. This is the pre-collapse. It is the moment your body stops being an athlete and starts being a crime scene. Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to take you inside the final 5 miles of a 100-mile collapse. I'm going to show you why your internal organs start shouting at each other, the terrifying reason your skin begins to turn a bruised shade of gray, and the dead switch in your brain that can literally turn off your consciousness to save your heart. And if you stay until the end, I'll share the one phrase a medic told me at a checkpoint that prevented my kidneys from shutting down forever. Let's enter the pain cave. The first sign, the metabolic ghost. You've been moving for 22 hours. You think you're fine because you're still moving, but look at your hands. They are swollen, the skin tight like a balloon. This is peripheral edema. Your body is failing to manage its own fluids. But the real sign is the metabolic ghost. Have you ever felt a cold breeze on your neck, even though it's 80 degrees out? That's your hypothalamus losing the ability to regulate your core temperature. You are shivering while you're burning up. Your body has run out of glycogen. It has run out of fat. It is now currently autophaging. It is eating its own structural proteins. You are literally digesting your own calf muscles to keep your diaphragm moving. And here is the first open loop. There is a specific smell, a scent of ammonia on your breath that indicates you are exactly 60 minutes away from a total systemic blackout. If you smell it, you're already in the red zone. The second sign, the brain fog turns black. At mile 94, the fog isn't a metaphor anymore. It's a physical wall. Your brain consumes 20% of your body's energy. When that energy hits zero, the brain starts load shedding. It shuts down the non-essentials first. First to go, personality. You become irritable, silent, a shell. Second to go, logic. You stare at your hydration pack, knowing you need to drink, but you can't remember how the straw works. You look at the plastic nozzle as if it's an alien artifact. And then come the micro snoozes. You are running, your eyes are open, but for 3 seconds at a time, your brain is actually asleep. You wake up 5 feet further down the trail with no memory of how you got there. This is your brain trying to reboot the system while the engine is still redlining. Wait, did you hear that? A branch snaps behind you, or was it a voice? At this stage of near collapse, the line between external reality and internal hallucination evaporates. The trees aren't trees anymore. They are spectators, they are judges, and they are waiting for you to fall. The third sign, the cardiac stammer. You're 3 miles from the finish. Your heart rate should be dropping because you're moving slower, but it's doing the opposite. It's spiking. This is the cardiac stammer. Your heart is so dehydrated and your blood is so thick with muscle debris. Remember that black Coke urine we talked about? That your heart has to vibrate rather than beat. It's struggling to push syrup through a straw. You feel a fluttering in your throat. It's not anxiety. It's your heart physically struggling to maintain a rhythm. This is the dead switch. Your brain knows that if your heart rate stays this high for another 10 minutes, the damage will be irreversible. So it prepares the final move. It cuts the power to your legs. Suddenly, your hamstrings lock. Not a cramp, but a total neurological off switch. You hit the dirt. The moment of collapse, the void. When you hit the ground at mile 98, it's not loud, it's silent. The world goes from 4K resolution to a single blurry point of light. You can hear your own breathing, but it sounds like it's coming from someone else, 10 feet away. This is dissociative exhaustion.
Your body is at 105 degrees, your kidneys are screaming, your heart is leaking troponin, and this is where the medic's secret comes in. I was in this exact position, face down in the mud of the Western States Trail. A medic knelt down, didn't ask if I was okay, but whispered, "Don't look at the finish, look at your thumb." He told me to focus on the smallest possible movement. If I could move my thumb, I could move my hand. If I could move my hand, I could crawl. The collapse happens when the brain becomes overwhelmed by the total, but the survival happens when you shrink the world down to a single inch. The resurrection, the endorphin Hail Mary. Somehow you stand up. You don't know how. This is the endorphin Hail Mary. Your adrenal glands, which have been empty for 10 hours, find one last microscopic pocket of adrenaline. It's enough for 2 miles. You cross the finish line, you don't celebrate, you don't cry, you simply stop existing for a while. You are placed on a cot, an IV is jammed into your arm, and you watch the bags of saline disappear into your veins like water into a cracked desert. The aftermath, the price of the peak. The ultra collapse isn't something you recover from in a week. Your blood markers will look like those of a heart attack victim for the next 14 days. Your feet will lose their skin. Your brain will feel dim for a month. You have traded a piece of your long-term health for a plastic medal and a finish time. So was it worth it? Most people spend their lives avoiding the collapse. They stay in the safe zone, where the heart never stammers and the brain never lies. But once you've been face down at mile 98, once you've looked at your thumb and decided to stand up anyway, you realize that safety is just another word for untested. You didn't just run a race, you survived a system failure. But what if the failure isn't physical? What if the collapse is happening inside your mind right now, without you even running a step? This is the burnout biohack. It is how high performers, as ultra runners, uses the same techniques to prevent their brains from melting down in the corporate world. You won't believe what 3 minutes of ice water does to your dopamine receptors. So this is how collapsing feel in most of ultra runners. Are you ready to try an ultra marathon? See you in the finish line.